This is Snowface Bigfoot. Welcome to my travel vlog for New Year's Eve. I am currently in Eastern Standard Time and it is the new year. Got about 20 minutes to go for those of you in Central Time and still another couple hours if you live in the Pacific Time Zone. Hey, guess what? If you live in the Pacific, you get four different chances to celebrate the new year. And if you live in places like Mobridge, all you have to do, celebrate Central Time Zone in Mobridge, and then drive right over to Standing Rock and enjoy the New Year in the Mountain Time Zone. Man, can you beat that? You can celebrate it twice because it's only a half-hour drive from Mobridge to McLaughlin. Man, celebrate twice. I did that one time. It's almost exactly 10 years ago now. Anyway, what do I have to talk about today? Man, today is pretty uneventful, thank God, except for one idiot. When I was leaving Richmond, some guy thought he was a gangster or something and tried to talk trash to me while driving. All I did was this. I gave him that little evil look like this. And he got pissed off and just ran off because I guess he figured out, he thought because I had a North Dakota plate I wasn't from there. Guess what? He ran off like a little chicken that he was. Other than that, pretty good day. I went down to Roanoke Pinball Museum. I spent about 3.5 hours there. I had several major problems with it, especially some of the older games. And I know it's very hard to maintain. Actually, most of the games were actually in very, very good shape. I mean, tables. Some of the paint jobs were worn out, but I mean, that's because the games are over 60 years old, some of them. Some of them 40 to 60 years old. I mean, they had almost a row and a half of, games from the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. The only problem was that the flippers on a lot of them had no power on it. And, I wanted to play, what was it, Wizard. Because I played it at the, Richmond, Pinball Collective. A few days ago I broke 212,000 on it, which means I rolled a score twice. I actually only rolled a score once because when it goes to 100,000, it shows you the 100,000 it lights up. So you have to get 200,000 to actually roll the score. And the problem is the right flipper wasn't working I mean, you couldn't even get the ball up to the pop bumpers. So your main shot of that game is with the right flipper. You try to get into the saucer at the very top. And, that's where all your bonus comes in. And then it'll kick it out. And then it goes over 4 little rollovers or whatever those things are called. And if you knock down the flags, see, I think you add to your bonus on that. But you can actually, once you have done a certain thing, you can get double bonus, which actually can add 38,000 to your score when your ball, if you lose your ball without tilting the machine. What was it, Surf City I played, or Surfside, whatever the game was called. I had a lot of fun with that today. Globetrotters, I finally had a chance to play that. Playboy Pinball was in very good shape, and of course it does a cat call, when you push the button on there. And the Kiss Machine, from not the new one that came out for, I guess that was 2012 it came out? 2013. I'm talking about the one that came out in the 70s by Bally. Excellent shape. I had fun with that. I even had fun with the Gottlieb games. They actually had the good ones in there. One was called Operation Storm, I think. I never played it before. It was actually pretty good to be a Gottlieb from the 80s. I think it was an 89 machine, or no, 92 I think it came out. I did pretty good on it. First game I ever had was 30-some million. Of course they had Black Hole, my favorite Gottlieb. And then my second favorite one from that era, Haunted House. And then what was it, Hollywood Heat. I enjoyed that game. Gottlieb was the pinnacle of garbage, in the 80s and 90s. A lot of their machines sucked, but, TX Sector was an excellent machine, awesome music. They didn't have that, but at one time they did. I got to play Firepower 2. That was the only Williams from the early 80s that was actually working. Black Knight, the right flipper, you couldn't get anything up into the... You couldn't hit the ramps to hit it to the upper playfield. And nor could you hit him... There's a piece there on the middle ramp that kept you from going up. And it would just, you know, it would hit him and jump up. And then the ball lock wasn't working either. It would just go straight on through there. So if you were in the upper playfield, you just had to make do when you first started the ball off. You know, I was kind of disappointed, especially with Gorgar. You know, I had trouble with that. But, I mean, the playfields were in excellent condition. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's very tough to keep that era of machines. All the new machines were in good shape. I did struggle really mightily with Walking Dead. I had like 256 million on there Saturday night at the Richmond Pinball Collective. And it's a very tough machine. And that's what I enjoy about it. I couldn't even break 6 or 7 million after 3 games. I got tired of it. Because every time the ball would, feed from the pop bumpers, it would just go right down the middle. There's nothing you could do about it. I mean, no amount of nudging or moving the table could do anything about it. Ghostbusters was in good condition. And then I got to play, Time Machine. Hadn't played that in years. I love Data East machines from the late 80s. Remember the first one was Laser War. Laser War. Excellent, excellent pinball game. I wish someone had it so I could play it and not just at the Stern factory. Time Machine, really had a lot of fun with it. Broke about 3.5 million on it. And on Firepower 2, I broke the high score for the place there. It was 2.3 million. I had 2.6 million. I could have easily broke 3 or 4 million, but I bricked my last ball. So, which is kind of hard to do in that game. If you know what you're doing on Firepower 2, I mean, you can rack up the score in there pretty easily. It's much easier than the original Firepower. And in Fireball, got to play that. It's a very tough game. It's nothing like Pinball Arcade. That game was in good shape. And Captain Fantastic with Elton John on there, holy cow. That game was in great shape. I really enjoyed it. I hadn't played it in years. And finally, Globetrotters. And of course, I told the story about that on one of my, not my live stream, but one of my blind dives. And the joke about it was, back in '87, the summer of '87, August, actually, at the Jeff Davis Terminal Avenue 7-Eleven, kid pulled my pants down. Luckily, my boxers were still up, and I need him. I mule kicked him right in the nutsack, and all I could hear was go. And while I was playing, I held one flipper holding the ball up, and I pulled my pants up, and the woman from the counter and the cashier comes over, and I told her what happened. And she looked at that kid and she says, basically, you got what you deserve, you idiot. And, man, that was funny. I remember they had a Bisconian machine in there for years, and they still had it at that time. But, that was my claim to fame, and, man, I would roll that machine, and I was really good, especially teenage years. And if you ever watch players like Escher Leskov on any pinball tournaments, he's only, 14, 15 years old, and I watched him sweep Free Play Florida, I think the Classic and the Main Division. I mean, that's pretty damn good. But then again, the best players in the world, actually, you start better when you're that young. And I can tell you that from experience. I was an excellent pinball player when I was probably around 12 or 13, especially when those mid-'80s Williams games come out, especially like High Speed and Pinbot. I just cried. I would roll those machines. It took me a while, to do it, but once I did, there's nothing to it. Anyway, today I was in the 70s all day, 60s, going through West Virginia. Beautiful weather. It was raining. When I got to Ohio, it rained quite a bit, but the worst thing was the wind. I was getting blown all over the place, worse than what we get up in North Dakota a lot of times. So, but again, I said it was uneventful. I ate at my normal places, and tomorrow I'm going to eat at last chance to eat at Waffle House and Steak and Shake, so I'll eat at those places tomorrow. And maybe I'll check Chick-fil-A or Popeyes when I get to Fargo. But I'm not going to get to Fargo to Wednesday, so I'm going to stop at the pinball place, spend 2 or 3 hours there and get back Wednesday night. Hopefully I'll be back by the time the Schwann's truck gets there. So, anyway, I'm staying at the Best Western in Richmond, Indiana, which is just across the border from Ohio. I'm about 35 miles west of Dayton, so very nice room. Not much to it, as you can see here. Very nice open room with a king bed. Of course, I brought all my stuff. And of course, I'm decked out in red, as you can see. Anyway, I didn't want to wear my running shorts because, ooh, you're a pervert. You shouldn't be walking around in shorts that short. It's still warm outside, although it's getting colder. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, Tyree. And I'd like to thank my new subscriber, Mr. Charlie Hunter, for adding his comments and thumbs up. And, one other thing, don't forget, if you've not hit subscribe yet, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, this has been a long vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and have a good New Year, and have a Happy New Year. And Jest and Wise Spirit, stay out of trouble.